Lewis Capaldi, Spiderman memes, wash your lyrics, and flip the switch. Welcome back to Trendz. My name's DJB. This is the podcast where we like to celebrate trends. Trends from the internet, things that we've got a little bit obsessed with over the past few weeks. So without further ado, let's get into it. Obviously this week has kind of been taken over by talking about the coronavirus, and so there's lots going out there. So it was a bit of a quieter week on the trends front, and I don't want to spend loads of time thinking about that because we want this podcast to be a bit more positive. We just want to embrace the creativity and just the fun things that come out with trends. So that's what we're going to be focusing on, although one of the trends we are going to look at is about washing your hands, if you didn't know. So without further ado, let's start off with that one as our first trend. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been struggling for the past maybe 2 weeks when they've been telling everybody to wash their hands, and just, you're trying really hard, you're trying to follow the advice and make sure you wash your hands more regularly, but sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, it's just a drag. It really is. And sometimes you feel a little bit silly when you're having to you're there trying to count 20 seconds or singing happy birthday to yourself, trying to make sure you wash your hands. And I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes I get very self-conscious if I'm in a public bathroom, still there washing my hands, thinking, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Don't everybody look at me weird. Please don't. And so, I really needed some help. I was getting to the point where I was like, you know what, this is just not working for me. I'm going to need a solution to the problem. And if you listened to the podcast last week, we were talking a little about Corona songs. We talked about things like My Sharona and Come On Eileen with using the lyrics COVID-19. Things like that was going really well. Don't Stand So Close to Me by The Police. Now, one song that really came to my mind that I got a lot of joy out of, talking about Corona songs, was The Weeknd, I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You. Because I have also got an issue with touching my face way too much. I'm really trying to avoid it, and that song has helped me not to touch my face. Well, I discovered something this week that somebody's brought out, and just everything collided together. It was like the perfect storm of things happening, and it's just turned my life around. So for this first trend this week, I wanted to talk about this new website that somebody set up. Okay, and it's been doing the rounds on social media. People have really been getting involved in it. It's called washyourlyrics.com. And it is pretty much as straightforward as you would think. Basically on this website, you go to it, washyourlyrics.com, and it just asks you to put in a song title and the song artist, and then it will generate a set of lyrics to a hand-washing kind of diagram, okay? Now, this is the typical hand-washing technique about how to wash your hands with soap and water. So you've seen the diagrams all over the place. So they use a diagram from the World Health Service. You've seen the diagrams probably all over the internet of this is how you wash your hands effectively. So this diagram is legit, and this is the effective way of washing your hands. But what it does is underneath all the pictures where they used to maybe put the lyrics to Happy Birthday or something, they will then put in the lyrics to the song that you have put in the generator. It's fantastic. I've been doing this with a number of songs, and just that very simple website, it blew up overnight. People went crazy for this, the fact that they were actually struggling to keep the website running with the, people generating their own songs to be able to wash their hands to. And just knowing the lyrics and just understanding an appropriate time in a song. Okay, if you sing this much of a song, you've effectively done 20 seconds. And I usually find it's a little bit more than 20 seconds. So it works really well. Just to give you an idea, also they have little stats. I found the Twitter feed for this by @neoncloth, and they have daily stats. On day one of this website being out, the one song that was top of the list was Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. That was the song that most people were generating lyrics for. Number 2, followed by Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. 3, All Star / Mouth. And 4, Africa by Toto. So just to give you an idea of the types of things that people have been looking at, the types of lyrics people are generating to wash their hands to. I wonder, it does make you wonder, like, I wonder how many people are when you're washing your hands, how many people are thinking about Bohemian Rhapsody or singing Bohemian Rhapsody whilst they wash their hands. So, and it's just been growing and growing in popularity as this thing has continued on. It's fantastic, it's great. I mean, I have seen this now being used by celebrities to generate the lyrics of their songs and everything. So after discovering it, I was like, okay, I need to pick some good lyrics. I did try a few Taylor Swift songs. Like, I wasn't sure about the placement of the lyrics, so it doesn't always place them where you think, or maybe it's the chorus or something. It's not always the chorus. So, I did Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. I did Blank Space as well. And then the idea came to me, because it just needs to be something memorable enough that you're going to be able to remember every time you wash your hands. So the idea came to me, since we talked about I Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd, I was going to put this into the lyric generator, which I did. And I tell you what, this has changed my life. The lyrics fit so well, and just where the placement is, I've created the diagram and everything, I can pick it up just like that and do that bit of the song, singing in my head, I can't feel my face when I'm with you, every time I wash my hands. It has revolutionised the way in which I wash my hands. Because it's also become quite an enjoyable experience. And, I just now automatically, every time I go and wash my hands, I go to, I can't feel my face when I'm with you. Also then, it's just a gentle reminder to not touch your face. It just works on so many levels. This has just completely revolutionised how I wash my hands, especially at this time. So if you are needing a little bit of help to help you wash your hands, figure out what great song you'd like to constantly be reminded of. What lyrics could you just call to mind at any moment? Use the lyric generator from washyourlyrics.com and you have a very, very helpful diagram to help you wash your hands. It works on so many levels. It's so good. So feel free to check that out. I tell you what, it has definitely changed my outlook on washing hands and just made the experience a lot more enjoyable. So I hope that if you are looking for some help, that helps you out as well. And going along with that as well, I'm not going to do this as a separate trend because it all just kind of fitted with this very well. There are a number of celebrities that are kind of in getting on this whole washing hand trend, especially to kind of just give people a little bit of lightheartedness or just to remind them that, hey, you know what? We're here to give you some tips. And Gloria Gaynor actually did a video on TikTok. This is the great thing about TikTok. Some people that you don't think would be on TikTok are on TikTok, including Gloria Gaynor, and Mariah Carey now apparently has one. So yeah, Gloria Gaynor did a video of her washing her hands, singing the lyrics to her very, very famous song, I Will Survive. I don't know how appropriate that is to sing every time you're washing your hands, but hey, people loved it. I mean, we got a little bit obsessed. And that is one of those songs, whenever I'm doing a gig or anything, I don't play it very often, but if you get the right crowd and they're just really in for a sing-along, playing Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, just really lifts people's spirits. And it's also just you can play it from the very first bit of that piano, people know what song it's going to be. It's just you press the start button, people automatically know this is Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. And then you can just see people prepping themselves up because it's a big sing-along song. So the fact that she's done a video of her washing her hands to I Will Survive is fantastic. It is so good. She even hashtagged it the I Will Survive challenge. So, it's really getting there. And then Mariah Carey also did it. But she's even got her kids singing along, and it's just very heartwarming to see. I've just been reminded, you know what, you can make washing your hands an enjoyable experience, especially if we're going to be needing to do it a lot more than we were used to but I would definitely suggest trying the lyric generator. It will change your life. For trend number 2 this week, we are talking about Lewis Capaldi, also going off of a lot of the things that have been happening on the news around the coronavirus. But this one was specifically toilet roll, okay? Now, obviously there's been a lot going on about toilet roll and people sort of hoarding food and going crazy in supermarkets. So there's been a lot of jokes about toilet roll online. And it seems like Lewis Capaldi is also just getting into the trend. He is one of those stars, he's a little bit like Lil Nas X, where they're very kind of savvy on social media. So when everything's happening, he's often like tweeting, or especially on Instagram stories, he's very active on Instagram stories, doing stuff and just riding those trends. And so he really kind of got in there very quickly when the whole toilet roll debacle was happening here in the UK. I don't kind of understand why we've gone a bit crazy on toilet roll, but, you know, it's one of those things. Especially because I've lived in countries where they don't really do toilet roll and they survive quite well. They use, like, you know, in Malaysia, they always thought we were weird using toilet roll. So that's a story for another time. But they use like a hose. I still don't quite understand how it works. I never got the courage to ask anybody. But, you know, it is possible to do this without toilet roll. Lewis Capaldi decided, you know what, since we've gone a bit crazy on Lew Roll, he's going to launch his own Lew Roll. It's on his website. Well, it was there when I checked the other day. And actually, I'm looking at it right now, a week later, and it's still in stock, so he's still got some. And this Lew, it's spelt L-E-W, you know, Lewis, Lew Roll. And it's £8 on his website. You get it's 3-ply as well. So, you know, this is not cheap toilet roll. And you get 4 in a packet, individually wrapped for your sexy jungle cat. That's what it says on the website. And basically the Lew Roll is just imprinted with Lewis Capaldi's face all over it. He's wearing sort of orange sunglasses and it's just literally his face everywhere. That is the Lew Roll. It's £8 if you fancy buying it. And delivery from £3.95. So it's not cheap Lew Roll, but you get to wipe with Lewis Capaldi's face. I don't know how I feel about wiping after going to the toilet with Lewis Capaldi's face, you know, right there. And just, okay. But, you know, if you're down for that sort of thing, I do really enjoy the originality of this and just the whole idea of just making the joke, just carrying on the joke. Whoever in his kind of creative department was like, you know what? Everybody's talking about Lew Roll at the moment and they're a little bit short everywhere. Let's make Lewis Capaldi Lew Roll. And I don't know why they decided on the specific photo that they decided of his face. But, you know, he has got sunglasses on. So when you do end up wiping down there, at least, you know, he's got protection on his eyes. They're so bad. They're so bad. Anyway, so Lewis Capaldi, Lew Roll. I mean, it's also part of the hustle of this whole thing, but I also just like the fact that he is just blatantly, obviously poking fun of how ridiculous we've gotten. I am intrigued to know how many people have bought Lewis Capaldi Lew Roll, because I am slightly tempted, just so I could put it amongst my wall of trending stuff. That would be great. But I don't know if I would pay almost a tenner, you know, almost £11 plus with postage on buying Lewis Capaldi Lew Roll. And I also then go through this whole head of, I don't know if I want his face down there. You know, it just seems a little bit weird, a little bit odd. But hey, maybe it's just me. Would you wipe? I have to go to the toilet. Would you wipe with Lewis Capaldi's face all over it? It's just everywhere. That is trend number 2. Okay, let's just move on then from the trends that have kind of popped up from the coronavirus. We're going to go straight in to some different ones, because you know what? We want a little bit of variety on the trends. And it is hard, because I think things have slowed down a little bit with everybody talking about coronavirus. And sometimes you just need a little bit of a break, you know? I mean, I appreciate that it's kind of, you know, everybody's talking about it and you want to stay up to date with everything. But I also find myself wanting to just have a little bit of a break from the media barrage that is the coronavirus. And on Monday, there was this new meme that came out. And it's just kind of like steamrolled over the past few days. And it's so enjoyable. Sometimes when you get a new meme and everybody jumps on it, we can all just kind of get a bit of enjoyment out of it together collectively. Now, I also don't know how people come across these memes and decide, you know what, that is a perfect meme thing. Let's get it up there, and then people all just fall in love with it. This is a meme from Spiderman. It's a picture of a scene from the first Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man's running down the street and the Green Goblin's kind of flying down on his little hovercraft jet thing. Okay? And it's a freeze frame from the movie where literally kind of like on the left-hand side, you've got a full view of the back side of the Green Goblin. His bum is right there, like it's just right in shot. And then sort of on the right-hand side, you've got Spider-Man running down the street. And that's basically the photo of where this freeze frames come from. And what people have become obsessed with is kind of, number one, it's how big the Green Goblin's butt is, basically, like right there on the screen. I don't know why everybody became a little bit obsessed with the Green Goblin's butt, but you know, there we go. And then the other bit is obviously Spider-Man running away from his problems in some form or another because the Green Goblin's right there. And so, of course, this just opened up a flow of people sharing the things that they're running away from because that's a great meme. We've done it before. Let's do it again, but with Spider-Man. Before I go into what some people have written, though, I just want to kind of cause attention to the fact this is a freeze frame of literally Spider-Man running away and a giant Green Goblin butt in your face. Now, how on earth did somebody come across this and was like, I need to put this on the internet? That was the first question I had. I was like, do you think somebody was watching the movie and then they had to pause it to maybe they had to go to the bathroom or they wanted to get a snack or something and they pause the movie, you run off, you come back, and then you look at the screen and you're like, that is an awesome freeze frame. How did we stop on that moment? I mean, it's one of those that you probably don't think that much of, and then when you just, it's one of those when you stop it and you look and you think, oh my word, how did somebody discover this and how has this not been discovered before? It really is like that type of moment. And it just makes me wonder, you know, how did somebody then obviously deemed this worthy enough to take the screenshot and share it online, you know? They got so much enjoyment out of this freeze frame of a giant Green Goblin backside and Spider-Man running away that they were like, I need to share this with the people of the internet. So I'll just leave that with you, you know. Just the random thoughts I have when I'm looking at this stuff online. And then, of course, people start turning it into a meme. It is literally like Green Goblin's coming to get you and you're running away from it. Green Goblin is 1% of germs and Spider-Man is me after washing my hands. Somebody was going to do it, weren't they? Especially at this time of the year. With everything going on, that was going to happen. I feel like I'm like that a lot of the time at the moment, especially as well. Just after you wash your hands, there's this whole conscious thing of like, I'm very aware of everything I touch afterwards. The Green Goblin, me at 3 a.m, Spider-Man, the shredded cheese in the fridge. It is difficult to not have that midnight snack, you know? When you stay up past a certain point, it's almost like you need to eat. Because you've waited so long, your body's just like, come on, I want it. I want some energy. And shredded cheese as well. Do you really want that at 3 a.m? You know it's bad for you. You know you shouldn't. But you're going to get it anyway. The Green Goblin. The fart I put in another room. Me running away. Yeah, I know people who do that. Like, I never really thought about this until I noticed I don't really want to talk about, I don't know if I should talk about this online. My boss, sometimes at work, will just kind of step away when we're like working, and then he'll come slyly back, and it's usually we're like, oh, you had to just drop one over there, obviously. It's just one of those inside jokes. To be fair though, at least you're like courteous enough to go into another room to do that, so that nobody has to be kind of put in a position where they've got to. We're just going to move on from that one. The Green Goblin, my teacher talking about the future, me running away. I feel like that's my whole life, is just running away from the future, and you can't run away from it. This is the thing with this meme, because Spiderman's running away and the Green Goblin's literally on a hovercraft. There's no way that you're going to get away from this. It's coming to get you. You know it. There's nothing you can do about it, but it's happening anyway. Yeah, you can't escape the future. It's always happening, and yet I try on a daily basis. The Green Goblin, me. Spider-Man, my dog who has something in his mouth. Why is it that dogs want to show you what's in their mouth, but then they don't want you to take it? Like, they know you're going to come and take it. It's just sad. Just some memes that people have generated from that. It did get me thinking, what do I run away from? Because a lot of those I actually find really relatable, because I feel like I do that. Or what do I run to? I can tell you what, literally on a daily basis, I will run to get a bottle of Coke. I am a little obsessed with Coke, and I hit a certain time of the day, like just after lunchtime, where I'm like, I just really want some Coke. I need some Coca-Cola or something in my system. I need that sugar rush. So probably one of the memes I would do would be me as a Green Goblin going to get my daily bottle of Coke running away from me. It's inevitable that I'm going to get it. It's just there. It just needs to happen. So if nothing else from this meme, you can get some enjoyment of just looking at how huge the Green Goblin's butt looks right there on the screen. What would you run away from? Okay, so we have one more trend to look at today, and I'm quite excited with this one because it just brought me so much enjoyment. It's from TikTok. We knew that TikTok trends were going to become a big thing, and this one's been building for a little while. It is the Flip the Switch challenge. Now, I'm sure there's a very high likely chance that you have seen these circulating around online. They are getting quite popular, and basically it's people in the bathroom or by a mirror. There's two people, one's holding the phone, and usually one of them is doing something a little bit ridiculous, like dancing next to them or whatever. And they're using the song Non-Stop by Drake. And in this song, Drake sings, I just flipped the switch, which is the moment when somebody switches off the light, flips it back on again. And the thing with the Flip the Switch challenge is that the people have changed positions. They've swapped. But they haven't just swapped positions, they swapped clothes as well and what they were doing. So the person who was dancing is now stood still holding the camera, whilst the person who wasn't dancing is now wearing the other person's clothes, dancing in the background. And it's like this whole thing. Often people are trying to keep a straight face as well whilst they do it. And the creativity of this is quite spectacular, because you get like a lot of people kind of doing the same thing, kind of, a very simple dancing routine or something, or just chilling in the background, being a bit silly or crazy or annoying the other person, and then the flip the switch happens. But then people start getting a little bit more creative, and there's a lot of celebrities now getting into this and really, really enjoying it online. I think I've seen J-Lo do it with like a bodyguard or someone, and of course the hilarity ensues because the bodyguard is so much bigger than J-Lo. Camila Cabello's done it. Some of the best ones I've seen are people who are like completely like disproportionate to each other. So like they're just extreme sizes. Somebody's really small and somebody's really big or like tall or something. Swapping clothes. Guys and girls swapping clothes. I saw one as well the other day where it was a guy and a girl, and she jumped on his shoulders and they were doing the flip the switch challenge, and when it flipped, then she was at the bottom and he was on her shoulders. I mean, it's great fun. It's so good. And the best thing about TikTok videos as well, they're quite short. So you can really enjoy a lot of them in a very short space of time. Some of the creative ones I've seen is somebody who's pretending to be a student and a teacher, swapping roles. That one was really good. People doing it with their dogs as well. If you have I could not do this with Betty the Bulldog, but if you had a dog who could sit down in front of a mirror long enough that you could swap places with them. Very weird, and you could stick some clothes on them, but people make it work. One thing that I did find with the Flip the Switch challenge, I was thinking, could we do this? But you do need another person to do it with. You need a friend. That's the tough thing. Although doing a little bit of digging, I have discovered that there are people who have been able to do it individually on their own. They just go for extreme changes when they flip that switch. So it is possible if you're pretty good at kind of making that up. But hopefully your creativity will, help you overcome those problems. You never know. I was debating whether or not this is something we could do on the radio, but I think it's a little bit too visual to try and do on the radio, so I'm not even going to attempt that. But never know, I might see if I can do a Flip the Switch challenge soon. And it also I think it's one of those that the reason I love it so much is just that sometimes the TikTok videos can be very easy to do, somebody miming or doing a dance routine, whereas this clearly takes a certain amount of effort. So you just really appreciate the fact that, they've had to change clothes and everything to put this 15-20 second video together. It's not like a short thing. The dedication to people to do it is impressive. And so I just end up really, really appreciating the hard work that people go into to do the Flip the Switch challenge. That was trend number 4 this week. Those are our 4 trends. So we have had the Lewis Capaldi Lew Roll, Wash Your Lyrics website, the Spiderman meme, and Flip the Switch challenge. But which one should be our trend of the week? This is a tough one because I don't really feel like there's one that's massive that kind of jumps out. There's been a few weeks where one of them just really kind of just takes over. Wash Your Lyrics is one that has definitely changed my life and really helped me figure out how to wash my hands properly and just make it more enjoyable. So I am a little bit partial to that one. Spiderman meme just brings a lot of joy when there's just too much negativity online. Lewis Capaldi Lew Roll just shows you how crazy Lewis Capaldi really is, and good marketing ploy as well. Flip the Switch is just a little bit amazing. I think out of all of them, the one trend that I have to give it to this week is Flip the Switch challenge. The amount of hard work people have to do that, to make these 15-second videos, and just how much fun they are. They're so enjoyable to watch. Even though I'm listening to the same piece of music over and over again, I don't get bored. I really don't. And they're still going. So this week's trend of the week is a Flip the Switch challenge. You can watch them. You can watch the videos online, or of course you can get onto TikTok and just search Flip the Switch hashtag. There's loads of them. Loads of them. Well, that is trends this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your trends are of the week. You can tweet me at Kaylee Hillier. And of course, this will be going on YouTube as well, so you can always comment down there. Leave it in the comments. I love to hear what other people have been enjoying across the internet this week and what trends we can find out. And of course, we have got our new Instagram page, which is we_love_trends with a Z, because we're trying to be trendy like that. And I try to just post up things that I found as being common recurring trends on there. And you can let me know what you like as well. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll speak to you next time.